It's about time to have another puzzle by one of my favorite composers, Alexey Troitsky. When we learn chess in our early years, one thing we learn pretty quick is that if you have a endgame with a corner pawn and the bishop, you need to have the same color of the bishop as the square where the pawn gets promoted. And here it's not, because we have a light squared bishop and we are promoting on a dark square. So technically this should be a draw. But that rule only applies if the king is in the corner or cannot be stopped on his way there. So, in this study, actually, there is a way for white to win, despite having the wrong color of this bishop. And it's really genius. I like this study a lot because it's really good endgame practice. So, can you find out the series of moves that makes white win this despite the wrong color of his bishop? Pause the video now and see if you can find it, and I will explain later how it goes. So the target for black is of course to reach the h8 square, and if he does, it's a draw. But also it means that if he reaches either of these two squares, g7 or g8, it's a draw, because if he goes there, he can go to h8 the next time, because we cannot protect it. We don't have the right color. So in our two next moves, we need to block both of these squares for him, which means we will have to play bishop e6. That blocks this square, and if black moves towards with king f8, we can block the other square. So just to go back and say, why can't we do the other thing around? Why can't we start with the pawn? Well, because king comes up to f7, not f8, and we cannot move here anymore. Yes, if we move there, he cannot take it for sure. That's going to be a win, but he can go to g6, and we will lose the pawn. So we have to start with bishop e6 to block this square, and of course we're blocking this, but this is the important one, g8. So now if black goes to f8, as I said, we will block here, and also this will be blocked, which means he have to go back somewhere, and then we will move our pawn and promote. So after bishop e6, it's not over there for sure. Black doesn't go to f8, he goes to e7 instead, threatens to take our bishop. So how do we continue from here and not letting the king inside this area to take our pawn? Yes, you might have seen it. We're actually ignoring the threat on the bishop. Instead, we are moving our pawn. Because if he takes, he cannot catch our pawn, so it will promote. And there's no point of him from going back there, because still all these three squares are blocked. So if he goes back, then we can just move our king and take care of things. So he cannot go there, and he cannot take, so black's best defense is of course king f6. Now he threatens to go to g6 and take our pawn. And if we just move our pawn, well, could be some trouble. And we can move our king, maybe. I don't know. What do you think? Take a pause in the video and see if we can find the next move for white. There's only one move here for white to win this. And here it comes. We need to keep blocking him from the g file, which means we need to block him from g6. And the only way to do that in a smart way is actually to sacrifice our bishop once again. We're blocking g6, we're blocking g7. Still, he cannot take it because we're gonna promote. So black has no other option than to move to f7, Now trying again to get to g8 and h8 and safety for the draw. And how does white continue from here? What do you think? Yes, we need to block all these three squares now, but only two are blocked now. And there's no point of checking here because of the same king g6 and we lose our pawn. So we need to go with the bishop to h7. Look at this block. All three squares are blocked. The king is not coming into the corner. And he cannot do anything now really. He can go to f6, try to go this way, but now it's time for us. We have the bishop in a good place, we have the pawn in a good place. Now let's bring in the king. King f4. So we're blocking everything here for the king, for black's king. So he has to move back, and now we just push him. And he's in Zugzwang, he has to move. Move our bishop, bring in a new queen here. This will not do anything, he cannot come closer, and it will be a queen. And it will be a checkmate. Maybe it doesn't have to go in this way, it can go out here, but it just delays the checkmate with a few moves. So this is how we win, even if you have the wrong colored bishop from the beginning. Just blocking the king out from important squares like these, and then you can handle this anyway. Very, very nice study from Alexey Troitsky. I like it a lot. I hope you liked it too. See you later, everybody. Bye bye.